This is going to be a video on adjusting the preload for the rear shock on my 2008 Goldwing. 2001 to 2017 I've understood is virtually the same. 2018 is the same, other than a small change in the wiring harness. So I'm going to show you how the shock is missing a fair amount of preload capacity. So we're going to end up adjusting this on the screen here. It'll look like this. So I'm going to go to 0. It goes 0 to 25. And I'm going to place this camera so at the bottom of the screen of where the shock, is showing the bottom of the screen. Listen for the load change on the little servo motor. You'll notice that there's no load until about 10 or 11 on my screen. It'll start loading up. Here we go. Eleven is where it started loading, and it'll continue to rise, meaning it's doing its work. That's 25. You see the difference of the... So now we're going to go down. You'll hear the difference again. You'll see that it is working. 15, 11. There is no more load on the servo, meaning there's air in there. So I have it on the lowest. I'm on 0. That's important. I'm turning this off. I'm going to set this camera up, and I'm going to see how long it takes to do this work to remove this pannier here and to remove with these 4 screws, I think. I don't know if there's more or not, of the fender cover. Get to this reservoir on this shock. We'll end up, hopefully, I got an idea how to do a simple reservoir fill without having to disassemble a whole lot of work here. Making this video to see if it really works. Or removed. Alright, first time having that removed. Okay, looks like the seat's got to come off. So I removed the handles on both sides. Never taken the seat off before. Obviously I'm missing something. There we go. So we've got a connector for my heated seat. Still got to figure out, oh, here's the bolt. That explains part of it anyway. Feel it back here. all I'm going to need. This is the unit that I'm looking for right here. So there's connectors up here that I need to leave. I don't want to have to take it off. I do want to get to this. So that's what we're looking for right in here. I need to remove this bolt. For sure this one. And it looks like this one. Down here is where the fluid comes out, comes through this hose, and is pushed out to do the suspension preload. Down in here is the actuator that pushes up and down from this motor. Pushes up and down this way. It's a little worm drive that goes this way and slides a push mechanism. And then the fluid is down in here, pushing out. And I'm thinking I got air in here. So let's see what we can do. So I don't like the way this has weight on it, so I'm going to take the weight off of it with this chair. So there's a grommet back here. You can see this right here. That's what pulls out when I pull this pannier out. So when you put the pannier back in, you have to make sure you put that back into place. So I got to thinking about this. The fluid is sitting in here with this actuator that pushes down or up. So right now it's retracted all the way up to 0. All the way down is 25. That means there's some air in here so that when the servo comes down, pushing the plunger down, that's the word I'm looking for, when that actually gets past the airspace, then it's pushing the fluid, and that's where you hear the load on the motor and the suspension coming up. I believe I can just flip this, rotate this up, and take this off, saving the fluid in here so it doesn't drain out, and push the plunger part that's in here up against the motor and top off the fluid. And then put this back on. There may be a small amount of air, but it's nothing compared to what's going on in this way. So that's my tactic. Let's see if I can get in position. Alright, we're getting close now. I just rotated this around so I can get to it easier. Again, theoretically, take this bolt off. Fluid stays in here because it's up. I push this plunger in here down against the servo motor, leaving me the fluid gap that I need, and to top it off. Human hammer. Crush washer. Still on here. Let me get it to stay there. Please stay there. Yes, I think I'm gonna need a smaller. Nope. Whoa. So I'm seeing there's fluid in there. That's a good sign. That either means that it's full, and the problem is on the other end with the shock, or it still does need to go down. Oh, no, it went down. It was missing. Saw that dropped. Probably, I'm gonna guess 3/8 of an inch. So I came up with the idea of one of these little filler caps off of another oil container. And I don't have any hydraulic fluid. But I'm going to use some power steering fluid, which I've looked up online is a form of hydraulic fluid. Let's make sure this is high enough. So I'm going to fill this up to full. The level that I need. I'm not sure about the air here. There we go. It's too tight. I just have to be patient. The air has to be displaced, and the oil has to find a way down in there. Looks like I'm getting full. Yes, it's full. Very good. Didn't take much fluid, just saying. Back to the twist that it was. Okay, that looks good. So for those of you who are wondering, there is an angle of this hose. It needs to be about like so. Hydraulic line. Snug. And just a little tighter. See, enough to crush the washers enough. Not over tight, but it was snug. Alright, so I got to thinking I want to test this out and actually see it make a difference. So I'll put this holder on here for the pannier. Take the load off. And we're going to do an apples to apples comparison of what we experienced early on. Let me bring the bike down on the side stand again. All right, the moment of truth. We're at 0. And I'm going to put this over here so you can see it again. There we go. I hear a load already. I'm at 11. I've had all that room so far for a gain. Let's go all the way up. Fully up. And I think we gained some more distance. So let's do it again as it goes down. See if we can hear a load change or not. There's 10. Still dropping. There. I got down to 2 before it released its load. Okay, success. I'm going to put this back together, which won't take much. Well, hopefully that video helps you as much as it's been for me, because I've watched a number of different videos and never found anything that actually put something together like this and showed you exactly what a newbie, I've only had this bike for about 2 weeks, but a newbie going into this project and the whole frustration of not having the full suspension. And part of the prompting of this was my wife and I went for a ride yesterday. It was her first time on the bike, and I had it on maximum preload, but going over railroad tracks and some bigger bumps. She was complaining that it was a little bumpier than she expected. Yeah, because half the suspension wasn't working. Okay, we're back to putting Humpty Dumpty back together again. Incidentally, I have a video on my car tire. Yes, it's the dark side. I would never have put a car tire on my bike, but I bought it this way, and I brought it all the way up from southern Arizona. I actually went down to Nogales from Tucson where I bought it, and then rode it all the way up to Washington State, coming through Canada, so I had a border-to-border ride. There's a video online, and I'm going to do another review between a car tire and a normal tire, because a friend of mine has the brand new tires of a normal tire, and we're going to do a comparison of riding action. But I can tell you that I can't tell that this is a problem having a square tire. It corners excellent. So we'll do a real review at another time. Humpty Dumpty back together again, the great white wing closing out.